Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and this is my review of Captain Marvel. All right, so I took myself and 4 members of my family to see Captain Marvel at a Saturday matinee directly on the weekend of the release. That cost $35 in tickets and $21 in concessions, which is a total of $56 paid to see Captain Marvel and to get some sodas and some popcorn. It was totally worth it. I thought that from a pure money perspective, I took my family to see Captain Marvel. We had fun watching the movie, and we had fun discussing the movie. This is my review of the movie. There is spoilers in this review. All right, so here's my take. I'm going to give my overall, and then I'll kind of break it out into detail. Overall, I would give this movie 3 out of 5 stars. I think it is a I think as a singular, it is a MCU film, and I am growing to the point where I really thoroughly enjoy Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. I had some distinct issues with this movie overall. So here's my take. One, I think Captain Marvel, the hero Captain Marvel, is a terrible hero. My biggest issue with Captain Marvel overall, from the comic books and the comic books bringing that character into the movies, is this is a Superman character. This is a very overpowered, very Superman-like character being brought into the Marvel universe, into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I highly question the wisdom of that decision, because I think that Superman is a fundamentally flawed comic book character, one of the worst comic book characters in all of comic books, and I think there are so many problems with the Superman-like character that you should be able to see from DC that this is just a terrible idea, and you shouldn't put a Superman character into any comic book universe, right? And so, having seen the flaws and all of the problems that Superman level power characters create from DC, which is clear as day, right? It should have never been brought into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I think Captain Marvel, the character, both in the comic books and in this movie, is a fundamentally bad character. Did Brie Larson do a good job of bringing this character to life on screen? I think Brie Larson is a very talented actress. I think she did as much as she could with the role as written. I don't really have any issues with Brie Larson's acting. I had heard that she had said some things before the film that were somewhat political and that had activist overtones. I am swiftly becoming of the opinion that people who would like to enjoy films should swiftly ignore any and all commentary by actors and actresses about politics. And the reason why is the things they say almost never make the film more enjoyable and very frequently detract from the film. If you are a person out there who likes to have activism and politics mixed into your film, good luck with that, right? Like, go with Godspeed. I personally don't, and I don't think for one second that any actors or actresses should be silenced. I think they have every right to talk, but I, for one, am going to swiftly continue to ignore what actors and actresses are saying politically and actively and about activism, because I don't want it mixed with my entertainment, right? There are very good political commentators who I trust to commentate on politics. I think actors are some of the most poorly positioned people to comment on politics, and I'm just, going forward, I'm just going to ignore. I'm just not going to go out of my way to determine what an actor or an actress said about politics, right? So I know there was a lot of vitriol over some of the comments that was made. It's a complete non-issue for me, and I'm not even sure what comments were made, and I have no interest in knowing what comments were made. And the reason why is it's just not that important to me, particularly for a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. And I will say right now, I am now invested in Marvel cinema, in the Marvel Cinema Universe. I've seen all 20 films, and I want to see what happens next in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And this movie is telling me, if you want to continue to enjoy the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just actively ignore political comments and activist comments from actors. And the reason why is there's absolutely no shortage of political commentary. You don't need, that is, you don't need to mix that with your entertainment. One of the reasons why I'm kind of going down this road is, like, let's say I have a pet and I need my veterinary to take care of that pet. It really doesn't matter at all to me what that veterinary thinks about politics. And it's the same thing with Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, I just don't need a lot of political activism mixed with that, personally. It's my take. I can definitely see that others have. Okay. So what did I think of the movie overall? All right. So one, I think Captain Marvel, the character Captain Marvel, is completely OP, and the powers of Captain Marvel don't make any sense in the idea of making a better, more sound, good comic book movie, right? Now, what did I like? So that really detracted from the film for me. What did I like about the film? There was a lot I liked about the film. One, I thought the film did a great job of forwarding the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I have also come of the opinion there are no skippable movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, 20 films, is so momentous and so epic that I think every American should go watch them if they have any interest in superhero action films, okay? They should see all of them. They should catch up and then stay with the story, right? And more I hear people saying, oh, do I need this to understand what's going on? Yes, every single movie is part of the MCU, and you should see them all. And if you are some type of casual who wants to duck in and out of the MCU, no problem. You can go do that. I don't really want to have a conversation with you because you don't know what you're talking about, right? And I take the MCU very, very seriously. I don't like discussing it with casuals. And that's not a problem. Like, the people I know, they all know the MCU, the people that I will discuss this with. But, like, if you're, like, ducking in and out, you like this part and you don't like that part, I just don't want to discuss the MCU with you. You're a great person, love you to death, whatever, but I really just don't have any interest in talking about the MCU with you. I like talking about the MCU people who have seen every film, right? And so casuals are great. They have every right to exist. I just don't want to talk about the MCU with them, right? And I think that's the way to go forward, right? So I'm very serious about the MCU. I loved how this movie progressed the MCU. I also am of the opinion, I've reached the opinion, that every single movie in the MCU must be understood to understand the MCU. I do not have high regard or high respect for MCU fans who dip in and dip out and see some movies and don't see other movies. I respect them as people. I don't respect them as MCU fans, right? Like, to me, if you're an MCU fan, that means seeing every film and being knowledgeable of every film. And if you can't keep up with seeing a movie, 2-3 times a year, you're a casual, right? So that's fine. Discuss the movie with casuals, right? That's okay. I think there should be a space for that. Casuals should discuss with casuals. People who are serious about the MCU should discuss with people who are serious about the MCU, right? That's just my preferred form of communication. All right. What else? So I absolutely loved how this progressed the MCU, and it did progress the MCU considerably, in my opinion. All right, because now we know that that Captain Marvel is on point, on Earth, ready to help the world after Thanos has destroyed half the heroes. Okay, so, and we also know that the Avengers were named after Carol Danvers' call sign, which I think was a terrible idea. I don't think that nobody wanted that, in my opinion. Really poorly executed, right? All right. But for overall progression, loved it. All right, what else do I love it? My favorite thing in the whole film was Nick Fury. I thought seeing young Nick Fury, he looked fantastic from a technology perspective. I thought it was great to learn more about Nick Fury, to see Nick Fury in the role. The idea of older actors being able to act out roles, even though they're not young and they look young, it's great. It's fantastic. This allows us to make better and better movies going forward. I think it's really, really awesome technology. I absolutely loved everything about Nick Fury in the film. I think we know Nick Fury at a deeper, better level than we did before, and we can have more respect for him as a character. All right, the Flurkin, Goose the cat, the Flurkin. That's my second favorite thing about the film. I absolutely loved it. I loved every single scene of Goose the cat with the Flurkin in the movie. I loved seeing him hack up the Tesseract at the end. I really, really just was blown away by the Flurkin. I thought the Flurkin was awesome. It really captures that spirit, right? I love the power of the Skrulls. Ben Mendelsohn was fantastic in the movie. I love the idea of the Skrulls being in there, man. It's so cool. And the Skrulls being able to switch into different people. I really liked how the combats used the Skrulls. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely perfect. Not a big fan of the Krees being bad guys and the Skrulls being bad guy, good guys. Not super happy about that. But this was a fun movie. I really dug it. I think Brie Larson did the best job she could with what was written. I think Captain Marvel, the character, Captain Marvel, is a terrible comic book character in comics or in the movies. I love that the MCU is continuing to progress. This movie was worth the money I spent to see it. That's my take. I'd love to hear your take. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful day.